you. Recorded live.
Hello, and welcome to another edition of Health Reclaimed, a show where we give the spotlight to people who have chosen to take control of and responsibility for their own health and have gotten on a science-based, clinically verified nutritional supplementation program with Youngevity and who have a story to tell because of it. For those unfamiliar with Youngevity, it is a company started by Dr. Joel Wallach, who has a Bachelor of Science. He's a Doctor of Veterinary Medicine and a naturopathic doctor. And he's a true pioneer in biomedical and nutritional research whose work is featured in the Smithsonian and who has successfully sued the FDA 2 times for the right to make truthful, qualified health claims with regard to the therapeutic benefits of EFAs and selenium. He has over 45 years of biomedical research experience. He received $25 million in government funding to perform his biomedical research, and he has performed 26,000 autopsies and 10 million blood chemistries and histopathologies. He is the Paul Revere and Albert Einstein of natural health and nutritional supplementation of our day. And I'm thrilled to be a part of his Youngevity company and to bring you these success stories like the one you're about to hear today. But before we begin, remember, health is your responsibility, so everything you hear on this show today is for your entertainment and informational purposes only and is not to be construed as medical advice. And I usually, at this point, give you some facts and statistics as to the state of our nation in terms of health or the poor state of medicine in our country. But I pre-recorded tonight's interview, and it's an hour-long interview. So without further ado, let me introduce tonight's guest. Her name is Alison Tomlinson, and let's begin. And I'm joined now by an amazing individual who's located in Seoul, South Korea, actually. Her name is Alison Tomlinson. She's from the UK, and she has just an amazing story to tell you. So, Alison, are you with us?
Yes, I am.
Hi, Alison. Thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, great to be here.
So, how about you start and just give us some of your general background. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Well, as you've already said, I live in South Korea. I'm from the UK. I am 54 years old.
Young.
Thank you. 54 years young and getting younger every day, actually. Friends tell me as well.
That's awesome.
I have a long history of health problems. I've been in ill health since the day I was born. And last year, my health problems really came to a head. And I started really deteriorating with osteoarthritis and osteoporosis. And I got to the point where walking was extremely difficult. I got to the point that I was permanently bent over to the left, with my left leg significantly shorter than my right. The left leg was bent in, all the time.
Wow.
The left leg didn't feel like a leg. It just felt like this painful stick that was kind of attached to my body but didn't really belong to it. And in irrational moments, I thought the best thing I could do is just cut it off. I mean, I felt like that about it.
Wow.
It was awful. Yeah, it was awful. I mean, last summer I got to the point I just dreaded leaving the house because I knew I was going to be in a lot of pain, and I had no guarantee that I would be able to get home again. I just felt like the leg was about to collapse. The knee especially was about to snap. That's what it felt. All right. And at this point, I had already rejected allopathic Western medicine.
Oh, okay. That's great.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's a long story behind that as well. I don't know how much time we have to go into all this.
Oh, as much time as you like.
Oh, okay.
So what made you reject Western style medicine?
I'd always been sort of inclined to look at natural medicine, but having been ill all my life, I was kind of depending on Western medicine until the turning point for me was about 5 years ago. I have insomnia. I still struggle with insomnia, and it was terrible at that time. And I went to a sleep center. And I had a polysomnogram. And after which I was told that I was waking up 19 times an hour. And that I had sleep apnea and periodic leg movement. And I was prescribed 5 different drugs, including Valium. And I
take them?
No. But I took 1 dose of one of them. No, I mean, at that time, I hated the idea of taking drugs, but I thought, you know, I have a serious health problem here. I'm desperate, so I'm going to have to try this. So I bought the drugs on the way home, and then I went home and I looked on the internet and I checked out all the side effects of all 5 drugs. And to cut a long story short, I took the drugs back to the pharmacy and asked them to throw them away. And I'm a Christian.
Wow.
I prayed. I said, Lord Jesus, please find me an alternative or let me die. That's how I felt at the time. I'm sorry, I feel emotional already.
Was this in the UK or was this here in Korea?
No, this was here in Korea.
Okay.
Yeah. A little while after that, a few months after that, somebody sent me a bottle of lavender oil, and I inhaled the lavender oil and went to sleep.
Wow.
It did not solve my insomnia problems. I still have them, but it got my attention. Yeah. And then I really started investigating essential oils. And I had, a little while after that, I had what appeared to be a miraculous healing of a 39-year-old knee injury, cartilage injury. I had an accident when I was 11. And for 39 years, that knee had limited range of motion. I couldn't straighten it completely, couldn't bend it completely. The kneecap was sitting at the wrong angle. And I started using essential oils on it just to make it feel good.
Which one?
Lemongrass, marjoram, and wintergreen. If I can mention another company, I was using in living at the time, and it was it was their cartilage blend recommended in their desk reference.
What's the name of the blend?
It's just cartilage blend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I applied that twice a day for a month. And it just felt really good. I was just doing it because it felt good. And then one day I was walking down the street and my knee snapped. It snapped.
Oh, no.
It was very painful for just 1 second.
Yeah.
And then when I got home, I checked the knee out and the kneecap had sat down.
Oh.
And, it had been at the wrong angle for
39 years.
Yes, yes. The kneecap sat down, and I still couldn't move it at that point. But like 2 days later, I could wiggle it like right to left.
Uh-huh.
And 2 days after that, I could wiggle it like forward and backwards. So within a week, it was like 95% normal.
Amazing.
The significance of that to my current story is that if that hadn't happened, and as I say, I'm a Christian and I believe Lord Jesus is in control of my life. If that hadn't have happened, for the last year, there's no way I could have got up and down steps because I've been putting all my pressure on my right knee. I've had no choice because the problem's been in the left leg and the left hip. But because that was okay, it has coped with the last year.
Wow.
So by now, I'm, to go back to my story as to why I rejected Western medicine. By now, I have to say that, I'd had treatment all sorts of treatment on that knee. And doctors everywhere had told me that there's no way that knee could recover. They would just wait until it got so bad that I couldn't walk and I was in pain all the time, and then they would operate.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I've been told.
And that's their answer to everything. Drugs and then surgery.
Absolutely. Right? So here we had something that the doctors had told me could never get any better. And here it was, 95% recovered.
Yes! A week after using essential oils.
Well, no, a month. I started
a month.
Yeah, it was a month after I started using it, but then it was like within 1 week it snapped.
Yeah.
It was just that. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. So, by now, you can understand that my thinking was really changing here.
Mm-hmm.
Also, about the same time, I was persuaded to have 13 mercury amalgam fillings removed from my teeth, which I did. Yeah. When I was a child, I was really smart. I was top of the class, right? Yeah. And I kind of lost that in my teens. Never got it back. And when I had all these mercury amalgam, I think you call them silver fillings, whatever, removed from my teeth, my brain power started coming back. I didn't realize until then how bad I got. But before having those removed, I got to the point that I couldn't do simple maths. If you asked me to add up 2 3-figure numbers, I would write them down and then just look at it. I didn't know what to do. And then I'd have to go and get a calculator. I couldn't read at the same pace as everybody else. I'm supposed to be an English teacher, right?
Right.
After I'd had these fillings removed, my brain power started to come back. And a lot of other things improved.
Like what?
Like my gut improved. Quite a lot. I've had gut trouble my entire life. Been constipated my entire life. It started to improve. Also, my hearing improved and my eyesight improved. Yes, and I didn't fully understand this until recently when I read Dr. Wallach's book. I think it was Rare Earth's Forbidden Cures.
Okay.
And in there he talks about the damage that mercury vapor does to eyesight and hearing.
Huh.
Yeah, it was a really strange experience. You see, I got so much I couldn't read, but I had optic neuritis in my right eye like 20-something years ago. and I lost most of the color vision in that eye. Now, after I had the mercury removed, and after I started using the essential oils, so I don't know exactly what caused what, but I got most of the color vision back in that eye. So this was now two things, right? Two things I had that the doctors had told me could never improve. They told me I'd never get that eyesight back. He would never recover. Okay. So they were wrong twice. Yeah. So I really had to start rethinking here.
They don't have a good track record.
No.
Wow. So what essential oils were you using for your eye?
Well, I wasn't specifically using them for my eye, but I was using the Young Living eye cream, which contains frankincense. And when I looked on the internet afterwards, a number of people say that their vision improved while they were using that. I mean, it's a cosmetic, use it for cosmetic purposes.
Yeah.
But a number of people said, and I've read recently that frankincense has been used deliberately to improve eyesight. I got my reading vision back. I was wearing multifocals.
Really?
Yeah.
And now you don't use glasses.
I do use glasses for distance vision, right? But you can see I'm not wearing glasses now.
Right. Yes. That's amazing.
For short vision, for close, I don't need them.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have to get my dad some of that frankincense.
Yes, try it. Apparently there's different ways to use it. You can just put it on your hand and hold it over your eyes. I don't know how often you're supposed to do this. Because you can't, I'm sure you know, your eyes is about the only place you can't put essential oils. Right. Check it out.
Why? You put it under the eye?
Well, this is what I'm saying. Some people say just rub it on your hands and put your hands over your eyes and just let the vapor do it. Other people have talked about putting juniper and other oil, helichrysum around the eye. I don't know exactly. Exactly. You'd have to check that out.
I should get Dr. Wallace's book, Passport to
Yeah, I have that.
Do you?
Oh.
Yeah, I need to. It's one of his that I don't have yet.
Yeah. Well, I'm now a great believer in essential oils. And they've helped me enormously in the past year with pain levels. Yeah, I was in pain 24/7. But essential oils gave a lot of relief, and the CM cream. I used the both. So we've now got to the part where, I am now seriously doubting allopathic Western. But I'm kind of stuck on essential oils at this point, right? Yeah. But at this point, I start looking at other history, other medical sort of areas. And one thing, because of some friends of mine, I started looking at the HIV/AIDS issue. I came to the conclusion that we have been lied about that whole issue. Right? That led me to look at other non-medical issues, for example, 9/11. I came to the conclusion we've been lied to about 9/11. And once you come to that conclusion, your whole worldview starts to change. Right. And at that point, I started to... I hesitate to tell you this because I know I can't do this without emotion. I'm sorry. I had a son who died when he was 9 years old, and he was born severely handicapped. And when I started to investigate medical issues, I started to understand that situation was avoidable. I had always thought it was unavoidable, and that the medical profession did the best they could. And I don't want to go into the specific story because it would be difficult for me to do that, and I don't want to attack particular people because I have no proof of what, I'm saying. But I now know, from what Dr. Wallach says, firstly, the whole thing could have been avoided with nutrition anyway. I was asthmatic during the pregnancy. And shortly before the pregnancy went wrong, I was given an injection of aminophylline. And on the 8th of November 2009, I can remember it because this is the day that changed my life. Somebody asked me what had caused my son's handicap, and I said I didn't know. But I was already looking at things anew. So I looked on the internet to find out if there was any other mention of what aminophylline can do if given in pregnancy. And I found a number of lawsuits of where aminophylline has caused brain damage in neonates and young babies. That was the day that's the day that I have refused to go to a doctor's session. That was the day. That was the day I said, okay, I want to know the truth about anything and everything.
Good for you.
If it costs me my life, I want to know the truth. So that was in 2009. So when we got, yes, that was pretty recent. So when we got to last year, when what I now understand as being my lack of nutrition was totally catching up on me and my body was just falling apart. When we got to that point, I was already thinking very much natural healing. But I didn't understand about the whole need to be, the need for total nutrition. I just didn't understand that at all still. I've heard Dr. Glidden talk about this. I realized I'd fallen into the trap of, instead of looking for the right drug, look for the right nutrient. You've kind of just switched your thinking thing to another.
But it's still kind of metal.
Exactly. Because you're looking for one magic substance instead of looking to renutrify your entire body. Yeah.
I fell into that trap.
Right. Okay. So I was looking for, I started taking calcium and magnesium and, lots of vitamin D. I was taking lots of stuff, but I was still going downhill rapidly. Really rapidly. I was just getting worse and worse and worse over a period of a few months. I just got really bad. And then I heard Alex Jones talk about Beyond Tangy Tangerine.
Me too.
Okay. And my first reaction, to be honest with you, was, oh, that stuff sounds so processed. That can't possibly be for people who are serious about nutrition. My second thought was, even if it's good stuff, with my lifelong history of gut issues, malabsorption, etc., there's no way I'm going to be able to take it. But I decided to try it. Yeah. Okay. So I got the BTT. After 2 doses, I felt a difference. I felt a difference in my muscle strength, and I felt irrationally happy. Here I am. I'm in pain. I can barely walk.
Yeah.
And suddenly, I feel irrationally happy. Unfortunately, I was right in that I couldn't keep taking the BTT. And I couldn't take, at that point, I couldn't take anything in the Healthy Start Pack. I'm allergic to shellfish. I mean, now they solved the problem, right?
Yes.
Time. Yes, yeah. I'm really, really glad. I'm getting on very well with the Beyond OsteoFX, right? But at that point, I couldn't take anything in the Healthy Start Pack. I couldn't take the EFAs because of the fish oil. The fish oil was giving me pain in my leg. I couldn't take the selenium. I seemed to be sensitive to the bilberry juice in it. Yeah. So I'm thinking I found the answer, but I can't take it. But over a period of weeks, I kind of experimented, and I tried the cow toddy. Within 4 days of starting the cow toddy, the horrible pain that I had in my knee went. 4 days. Within 4 days of starting the cow toddy, the restless leg syndrome that I'd had for years virtually went. And I was walking noticeably better within 4 days. Now, amazing. I was taking a lot of it, and I couldn't keep that up because of the magnesium. It was giving me the stools. I couldn't get going with it, right? But that was enough to show me this is the answer. Okay, we've got to work around this. We've got to find an answer somewhere. So I kept experimenting. I eventually swapped out the BTT for the Ultimate Classic, and I get on very well with it. I'm taking 2 ounces a day in 4 different doses, spreading it out. Getting on very well with that. I switched to the Ultimate Multi-EFAs, the evening primrose. I get on very, very well with that.
Is that also Youngevity?
Yeah. Yeah. The ones I'm mentioning now are all Youngevity. Eventually, the Wellness Warriors, the Facebook group, put me onto the bone building formula because I can't take the glucogel. And glucogel should be my main thing, right? With my problem. I took 1 to try, and I was in a lot of pain. Just from the shellfish allergy. So, I managed to work around it so that I was taking, the Ultimate Classic, a small amount of the cow toddy. I kept having to cut down and cut down and cut down. But I'm now building up with the Beyond OsteoFX. It has less magnesium, so I'm tolerating it much better.
Good.
Yeah. I've also been taking the sweeties just to sleep. My sleep has improved, but it hasn't completely solved. I've been taking the Slender FX meal replacement, not to lose weight. If anything, opposite problem.
Yeah, right.
A few years ago, I was very underweight. I'm now stable 125 pounds. I think he's good. Yeah. I'm now about 5'8". I used to be near 10.
Wow.
I've lost a lot of height. I'm hoping and praying I get that back. According to Dr. Pollock, I should do.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
For you.
Okay.
Keep working at it.
I am. Oh, yeah. I'm working at this very seriously.
I can tell.
I have found the answer. I haven't yet got to telling you the improvements, right?
Right. Yeah, we're just getting started.
Yeah, okay. I'm also taking the Vision FX. One main reason is because I couldn't take the selenium, and the Vision FX contains some selenium. And since I do still have eye issues, I thought it wouldn't do any harm. So I'm taking that. And I'm taking a few non-Youngevity products to try to fill in the gaps of what I can't take. But I'm having a second attempt now to get on the selenium. and I'm managing the Youngevity Ultimate Selenium, and I've been taking one a day for the last week, and I'm okay. Today, I plan to increase to 2 a day. You can get on that.
You can let me know how that goes.
Okay.
Good. Oh, nice.
So, go on.
Yeah, what other health improvements have you noticed since starting off?
Okay, we're getting on to health improvements. The most dramatic that I can tell you is that before I started Youngevity, at the point when I got into bed at night, I had a whole list of symptoms of what I now understand from listening to Drs. Wallach and Glidden are caused by osteoporosis. I didn't know what was causing them. I had, let me see, I've got a list here, ringing in the ears. My heart rate would increase. I would very soon have the urgent need to pee. I would have what Dr. Wallach calls creepy crawlies. So the feeling like you've got insects crawling all over you when you don't. And I was, yeah.
I've never experienced that, but I don't think I want to.
No, you don't want to. You really don't want to. Keep taking your Youngevity. You really don't want to.
Yeah.
And restless leg syndrome. Okay. I've been taking the products for about 8 months. All those symptoms are now resolved. Yeah. They're resolved at different speeds. As I've already mentioned, the restless leg virtually went within 4 days of starting Caltoddy. The ring in the ears has only just resolved. In fact, thank you. It declined over a long period of time. In fact, I still occasionally get like an echo of an echo of an echo of an echo of what I had, if you know what I mean. But it's barely perceptible. It used to be very loud. I used to think it was a noise outside, until I put together the fact that it only happened when I sat down in bed. There's only certain positions that triggered it. So that's all resolved. Obviously, my main issues were the left leg, the walking, and etc. I have to say I am still limping. I am still a work in progress. I'm not yet what Dr. Wallach would call one of his poster girls, right? But I'm getting there. Every week I see a little bit of improvement, and I have done consistently for the last 8 months. Right. But my left leg now feels like a leg, right? It, as I said before, it just felt like a painful stick. The foot was numb, and the knee was bent in. I've now got full feeling in my foot. I can wiggle it. I can wiggle my ankle. I can do everything I couldn't do before. I can stand on my toes, things I couldn't do before.
Wonderful.
My left knee is now straight. It was actually, the knee was actually the first thing to improve dramatically, which, listening to Dr. Glidden, he talks about the Herring's law of cure. That's right. Things happening in reverse. Things recovering in reverse to the order in which they got bad. Well, my leg got bad starting at the hip and working downwards to the knee. And it was the knee that was the last thing to get really bad. And it was the first thing to get much better. And it's now strong, it's got full range of motion, and I don't have any problem with it. No, I should say I still have a little bit of stiffness in it in the morning, I should say. Apart from that, no problem.
In 8 months' time?
Yeah.
And you suffered with that for 30 years?
No, that's wrong. It was the other knee that was the problem that I suffered for 39 years.
Oh.
Right, okay. That was the right knee. The left knee, it was only been a few months. It had been bad for a few months. This is what I'm saying. It was the last thing to get bad. It was the last thing to get bad. It was the first thing to get better. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. The thigh is much better. I've had muscle rebuilding on my thigh. Yeah. Yes.
Good.
In actual fact, in the first few months, it was really weird, really strange, because it was like the muscle was rebuilding from the knee upwards. It's like I could feel so far up my thigh, and then I would feel a fall-away point where the muscle hadn't rebuilt. And that fall-away point, every couple of weeks, I would notice it was like an inch higher. It kind of, like my body was putting a layer of muscle on the thigh, starting from the knee up to the hip. And then it started to take some shape. It had no shape at first, and then it started to take some shape. And so I could feel sort of muscle at the back. Like, it's still not 100. When I started, and I looked at Dr. Wallett's book, Rare Earths, Forbidden Cures, pictures in there of people with muscular dystrophy. My left thigh looked like somebody who had muscular dystrophy. It now looks, it's still not right, it doesn't look like the right thigh yet, but now it looks kind of old, sort of a bit flabby and not as firm as it should be, right? But it doesn't look like somebody who has muscular dystrophy. Yeah, it still needs to be a lot stronger, but it looks, if you look now casually, you wouldn't see an obvious difference between my two thighs. I mean, I know there's still quite a big difference, but it's certainly not obvious like it was. So that's much better. My problem is still my hip, but and until about 6 weeks ago, it hadn't shown any real signs of improvement. And I was still doubting that it would do. I mean, I haven't said, but I was told a few months ago that I need a hip replacement, and I refused it. But I had, up until 6 weeks ago, I was still having moments of doubt.
Right.
Yeah. 6 weeks ago, it started to get better. I've now increased range of motion in it, and it's now, it's still stiff when I've been sitting down for a long time, but it recovers much more easily. It recovers much more quickly. When I stand up after I've been talking to you, my first few steps will be difficult and a little bit painful. But after a few steps, I will be limping quite well. Okay. Whereas in the past, that wouldn't have happened. It would just have stayed like that. Yeah. So even though, this is my problem, trying to persuade people that Youngevity is right, because people see me limping still after all this time, and that's what they can see. And
it hasn't been that long. You've been on these products, 8 months?
8 months, and even then, even now, I'm not on the full protocol. I'm still not taking the right amount of glucosamine because I can't take food gel. So, and I'm still not taking the right amount of the OsteoX. Yeah, well, I'm now taking Beyond OsteoX. I'm building up. Today, I will be on an ounce, right? So, I'm getting there. So I'm still actually not on the full protocol. I had a Skype consultation with Dr. Suzanne back in February. And he told me to expect it to take 9 months after I was on the full protocol.
Okay.
Yeah.
Getting there.
And I'm not even on the full protocol, so.
Right.
Yeah. So.
And you've made tremendous improvements.
Tremendous improvements, absolutely. Yeah. People can't see this because they don't know what's happening inside my body. I know that every week I do something that I couldn't do for 1 year or 2 years or even 3 years.
Like change a light bulb.
Like change the light bulb, yeah. You remember? Like, because I could get on the chair. Now, the thing about that is, the amazing thing about that is, if you think about it, you have to be very confident that you can keep your balance to get on the chair.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Now,
I mean, I have no hip issues, and I even have trouble changing a light bulb.
Yeah. Well, a few months ago, when I first went to the chiropractor, last December. And he took pictures of me with his camera that he puts on this software on his computer that gives a very good idea of my posture. He told me that my head, I haven't mentioned my neck, that my head weight was 80% forward because I had the beginnings of like the dowager's hump. It was obvious, you could see it. I looked very old for my 54 years. And when it was like that, when I walked down the street, I couldn't turn my head while I was walking, otherwise I would fall over. My balance was so far out. And even after that, yeah. What? No, that was only 6 months ago. Yeah. On December the 6th, I fell in the snow. I slipped in the snow. And miraculously, praise God, I did not break anything. Yeah, I mean, serious osteoporosis going on here. I didn't think. I was in a lot of pain, but I didn't break. Yeah. For months after that, yeah. Every time I walked down the street, I would be praying that I wouldn't fall over. Literally, Lord Jesus, please do not let me fall over. Because so unstable on my feet. I couldn't put my left heel down properly because the hip wasn't right. The angle of the hip wasn't right. Couldn't get the left heel down properly. But I didn't have proper feeling in my left leg. Curbs at the side of the road were a nightmare.
Yeah.
I mean, I had to kind of squat.
And ice and snow?
Yeah. I was basically trapped in my house for 6 weeks because after I fell, I didn't go outside without help. So for 6 weeks, I didn't go outside without somebody coming and helping me. And in fact, I had to move house because I lived at the top of a hill, a very, very short but steep, very steep hill. With snow and ice on it, there's no way I could get down the hill. So I had to get someone to help me to actually move house so I could get out of my house again.
And in Seoul.
I'm actually just south of Seoul.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not quite in Seoul itself. That's not far. Yeah.
A little cheaper that way.
Oh, it is. It's very much cheaper here. I've lived in Seoul. This is much cheaper. Yeah. So, I mean, for a long time, I had major issues just staying on my feet. Getting on and off the bus was a nightmare.
Oh, I can imagine.
So, yeah. I mean, I'm saying this just to explain that getting on a chair to change a light bulb is a major improvement.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something to celebrate.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then about 3 days ago, I had to get something out of a shelf right at the bottom of a wardrobe. That's really, really difficult to do. I had to kind of squat down to the extent that my left knee was on the floor. I could do it. Now, I haven't been able to do that for at least a year, maybe 2. To people who don't understand this, that looks like nothing. But for me, I know that's a major, major improvement. You see me limping, but boy, that is a major improvement. Yeah.
Wow. Congratulations. That's awesome. So has your neck improved?
Oh yeah. I couldn't get to the chiropractor during the semester. I mean, it was all I could do to get to work at the beginning of the semester. It got easier as the semester went on. I'm a teacher, by the way. We haven't mentioned that. And I went to the chiropractor for the first time in 3 months last week, and he did his camera bit again.
Yeah.
Right, to compare how I was 6 months ago. On the picture 6 months ago, my pelvis was really out. I mean, the line of my pelvis was, the left-hand side was much too low. It's now virtually straight. And the neck, as I said, it was 80% forward. It's now, I don't actually know what normal is, but to me it looks normal. Or at least it certainly looks normal for my age. You wouldn't know there was a problem now. Before it was obvious. Now it's not obvious. It's maybe what it should be, but it's not. There's no obvious problem.
Good. So what did the chiropractor say?
Well, he acknowledged it was much better. He was especially seemed to be impressed with the knee. But I still can't persuade him to. He did say to me, so this is the nutritional product you told me about before, because of course I told him about it before. And I said yes. But he was still focusing on the treatment he needs to give me, more than the improvement. But what he did say, in the past when I first met him, he was just talking about maintaining range of motion. And he actually said, we can't improve, the damage that's been done, but we can keep the range of motion. So I still have quite limited range of motion in my left hip, although it's much better than it was. But now he's talking differently. He's talking about rehabilitation, which I thought was interesting. I'm not totally sure what he means by that, but it sounds very different to me. So, just maintaining range of motion to rehabilitation kind of acknowledges that I'm changing and I'm getting better. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Just for nutrition.
Yeah. Prayer. And essential oils.
Right. And essential oils.
Yeah. Yes.
So which essential oils do you use on a daily basis?
I'm afraid I'm still using in living on the grounds of if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
I have moved to Youngevity. If I can get any kind of business going and I can get free products from Youngevity, I will move to Youngevity. On a daily basis at the moment, I'm mainly using just wintergreen and peppermint because they're fairly cheap and they do give me a lot of relief. Mm-hmm. Before, when I was in a lot of pain, I was using Panaway, which is wintergreen, peppermint, and helichrysum. But helichrysum really puts the price up. And I needed a lot of it. So now I'm not having to use it now for pain. But I'm using it. Yeah. That is fantastic. I mean, if it was just, if all I could tell you was I was in pain 24/7 and I'm no longer in pain 24/7, but that would be fantastic in and of. I can't tell you. I mean, I was in horrible pain at times. I've never experienced such pain. And there was no relief from it. I sat down, I was in pain. I stood up, I was in pain. I walked, I was in pain. I got into bed, I was in pain. Right? Yeah, I'm sorry if I sound really sorry for myself, but yeah, I had a hard time.
Sounds like a nightmare, yeah.
It's a nightmare, yeah. Now, I can get into bed at night and get comfortable, and I have no pain. That in and of itself is fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, even a few weeks ago, when I got into bed, I got like painful spasms. Continuous pain had stopped, but I would still get these spasms. And when it was at its worst, I would wake up in the middle of the night screaming because I just get a horrible spasm that would wake me up, and I'd wake up in so much pain. Just the last 2 or 3 weeks, those spasms have subsided. Last 2 nights I haven't had any. And even if I get them now, they're not really painful. They're a nuisance, but they're not right. I can cope with them being a nuisance. It's much better than waking up screaming.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. have you changed anything else in your lifestyle, like your eating habits or anything?
Oh, well, yeah, I should have mentioned that. I've been gluten-free for over 20 years.
Oh, super.
In fact, that's one reason I started listening to Joel Wallach.
Uh-huh.
Because he was the first person I'd ever listened to in my life who made my life make sense.
Mm-hmm.
I had asthma as a child, severe asthma as a child. As I said, I've been constipated all my life. And when I got to the point like 20 plus years ago, I couldn't function. And I tried to find a solution. I had so much bowel, stomach trouble. I was awake all night in pain. And yeah, I went to the doctors again and again and again, and eventually the doctor said, I'm sorry, I've tried everything, I don't know what to do. Which, in retrospect, that was probably the best thing she could do.
Right.
Because, and then you're on my own, right? No relying on doctors, I'm on my own. So I went down the bookshop and I bought books on exclusion diets. Mm-hmm. I tried an exclusion diet, where you cut down to lamb and rice and whatever it is, like 3 different foods or something. And then we introduced the foods and see what gives you the biggest problem. And it was clear that my biggest problem was gluten. So I put myself on a gluten-free diet, which helped considerably. And I said this to Dr. Glidden, I think it's the only reason I'm still alive, actually, is because I did something at that point, right? Even though I'm struggling with health, I am still alive. I should tell you that before, my health had been so bad for so long, before I found Youngevity, I didn't expect to live past about 60.
Huh.
I'm now 54. I've been going downhill for so long. I kept
hoping.
Yeah.
60 is good. Just like that.
I might just make it to 60, right? And I now have a completely different, I'm getting younger every day, so I have a completely different outlook. Anyway. Yeah, right. So I've been gluten-free for over 20 years. And when I listened to Dr. Wallach, he was the first person who put my life together. Like, the gluten intolerance was causing me asthma as a child, and the constipation, right, and causing the lack of nutrition, which was now leading to the osteoarthritis and the osteoporosis. He was, the doctors just told me that I'd drawn the short straw,
Right.
There was never any explanation.
You just got bad genes, bad luck.
Yeah, just bad luck.
Right.
And I listened to Dr. Wallach, and I thought, that actually makes sense. Mm-hmm. That makes sense. Anyway, your question was about my food. So, yes, I also went on avoided the 10 bad foods. In actual fact, the only thing I had to avoid in order to do that was to stop eating coconut oil.
Oh, I still
do that. I talked to Dr. Glidden about this, actually. And my current thinking is, I don't think coconut oil is that bad, but since I still have such a chronic health condition, to do absolutely everything I can to get through this. So I'm avoiding coconut oil at the moment. So yeah.
It is on the bad food list.
It's on the bad food list. And also, when I was in so much pain, I started to look at whether food was causing that pain, whether food allergies. So I started doing a lot of pulse tests, this kind of thing, keeping records of what I'm eating and keeping records of my symptoms. As a result of that, I cut out nightshades, potatoes, tomatoes, etc. I also cut out meat and fish. I seem to have a problem with arachidonic acid, or arachidonic acid, however you say it. Right, okay. Yeah. That's quite difficult to cut. So I'm actually on a very limited diet at the moment.
Okay. So, you basically just eat fruit and vegetables and chicken?
No, I can't eat chicken. I can't eat chicken eggs either.
Really? No eggs?
No eggs.
Do you take whey protein?
Yes, I do.
Good.
Yeah.
Me too.
Okay. I take whey protein. I can eat white fish.
Oh.
So I eat white fish every day. I can't eat oily fish. I can't eat mackerel. I can't eat meat. I can eat yogurt. Arachidonic acid content of yogurt is very, very low. So I have a lot of full-fat yogurt, organic full-fat yogurt. In fact, I put my ultimate classic and stuff in it.
Oh.
Yeah.
I bet that's good.
Yeah, that's quite good. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so I eat some fruit, some vegetables, white fish, and yogurt. And that's one of the reasons I'm using the Slender Effects shakes to kind of keep up my nutrition and what have you. It's a real nuisance trying to feed myself. But I'm okay. I mean, I can do it. And I don't feel hungry or desperate because I'm taking all the nutrition.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, people on the ASAP program, they have to keep their calories to 500. And I spoke with a lady last week, and she said it's really not a problem once you adapt to it. You don't feel hungry because you're getting all of the nutrition, and that's what your body needs, nutrition, not calories.
Exactly. So at the moment, I will do what I have to do to get better, and maybe in a few months' time, I will try. I mean, I think the first thing I would try would be quail eggs, because I'm a little bit better than quail eggs than chicken eggs. So I kind of got in mind that at some point I'll try that again, but not at the moment. I really want to give the hip every chance it's got, every chance I can to improve.
As you're getting your protein.
Yeah.
Wow. Sounds like you are on the right track, and a year from now you're going to be 100%.
That's what I hope and pray. My mother took up tap dancing when she was 55, and I'm 54.
Okay.
So I'm thinking maybe I should continue the family tradition.
Take up tap.
Well, I don't know if I take up tap dancing, but I think I should take up something. Assuming, hope and pray, this lady's okay, then I will be taking up something. I mean, I have never in my life been able to do sports. And up from the hip, the rest of my body now feels really good. The stiffness is gone. I mean, my right hip is now wonderful. It was a bit stiff before. I didn't have the problems with the left hip, but it was a bit stiff. So now I'm thinking, if my hope and pray, my left hip recovers to the same extent as my right, then I'm going to start learning how to do sports or something, something that I've never been able to do before.
Tennis, yoga.
Yeah, something.
Yeah.
Maybe badminton, squash or something. Yeah.
Sure. I'll play with you. I wouldn't be much competition.
Right.
I enjoy it, but it's not my strong suit.
Oh, I don't expect to get good at it.
It's just for enjoyment.
Yeah. If I could do it, that would be something.
Yeah. Well, send me pictures of you playing squash.
Okay. Do.
Well, I guess we better end it here.
Okay.
It's been a pleasure speaking with you, Alison.
Yeah.
You are truly inspirational.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, thank you for the opportunity to tell my story. I haven't had the opportunity till now to really tell it like that, and to tell it to somebody who understands what I'm talking about.
Well, the pleasure's been all mine, Alison.
Right.
You're a gem.
And I hope I can be some encouragement to maybe your listeners who, like me, have problems taking the products, my message would be keep trying, keep finding a way around it,
And do you have a Youngevity website?
No, I don't. Maybe I'll talk to you about that later, off air, if you were. I don't really know how to do it from Korea as a British citizen, anyway. Yeah, I would like to. But so far, life has been just about surviving. But I'm now feeling like, I'm getting to the point I can be doing other things, and I would like to work that one out. How to get a website going.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you have a blessed day, Alison.
You too. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. God bless you. Bye-bye.
And so that was Alison Tomlinson. That's ALISON TOMLINSON. If you wish to look her up on Facebook, you can contact her about anything you heard today. If you have questions, comments, or you want to see how you can get in on the Healthy Start Pack, or the Healthy Bone and Joint Pack, the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, or any of the other hundreds of wonderful Youngevity products. Also, she made mention of some essential oils, which she is currently buying from another company, but Youngevity carries the Ancient Legacy essential oils, and I was looking over the long list of essential oils that they have, and it is quite impressive and very affordable as well. They have frankincense, eucalyptus, ginger, lavender, lemon, peppermint, cinnamon, clove, grapeseed, carrier oil, tea tree oil, basil, rosemary, thyme, fennel, juniper berry. And then they have wonderful combination oils, such as one called To Be Loved, one called To Be Well, To Be Happy, and that's not even half of what they have. Again, that's the Ancient Legacy brand through Youngevity. So check those out. And I need to give credit to the people who provide the music for this show. The opening music, entitled Middle of the Sun, is by Love Supine. And the outro music is by Shirley Bean, entitled Dead End Street. All available at opsound.org. And please check out Dr. Wallach's many books, all available at Dr. That's D-R-J Wallach, WALLACH.com. Some of his most famous books are Dead Doctors Don't Lie, of course, Passport to Aromatherapy, where you can learn all about essential oils and when to use what, Let's Play Doctor, Let's Play Herbal Doctor, Hell's Kitchen, Immortality, Rare Earth's Forbidden Cures, God Bless America, which is geared towards the baby boomers and the health issues that baby boomers are facing these days, and so many more, all available at his website. And I guess that's it, so let me close by thanking you for joining me. It's been great. Thank you for taking the time to listen, and more importantly, for taking action and taking control of your health. And if any of you listening have a Youngevity success story that you would like to share in an upcoming episode, please send me a message via my website at way2health.my90forlife.com, or my blog, which is Peak Fitness and Nutrition, all spelled out, .blogspot.com. And I'm joined now by